Yo, guys, what is up, and welcome back to another episode of the Warriors Invitational. It's your boy Gotham with my boy Chuck. Sorry if I'm a little quiet here today, guys. I'm in the office right now. That's how much we're dedicated to the Warriors Invitational. But it's playoff time, and it's elimination day, or stave off elimination day today. So gotta pod whenever we can. Chuck, sir, how we doing, brother? Welcome. How you feeling today?
Yeah, elimination day, or as we in the business like to call it, Adam Silver boss call day.
Yep.
Um, we've seen this past week. It has been an eventful week of Adam Silver making the big dog call to save a franchise or two. So Adam, do you have one more in you? That's the question we're all asking right now.
Do you have one more in you, man? 'Cause I'm sober. Just from a business standpoint, just it makes sense. Foul out Ant in the first 5 minutes. Julius Randle, a little flagrant two, something like that, you know. But no, on the real, man. Warriors. It is game five tonight. In Minnesota, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. The Warriors obviously down 3-1. Since the last time we spoke, Chuck, we were potting after game two. Series was 1-1. Our thing was, hey, we got to win one out of three games, with two of them at home. Unfortunately, the Warriors lost those two at home, in heartbreaking fashion. And so now we're left with obviously a winner go home, but a win, and you now have a chance to get Steph Curry back, in game six. The update today was Steph is starting some on-court work, kind of ramping up. And just from reading the report, it sounds like, hey, like if they're able to extend this the additional 3 days off, the likelihood of Steph playing just increases with each day. So basically, you're giving yourself a shot to extend the season and give Steph a chance to come back. But before we kind of talk into looking forward to a potential game six, talk me through just games three and four, Chuck. Heartbreaking losses. Game three, Jimmy went off. Kuminga combined for I think 68 of the 97 points or something like that. But kind of had nobody else show up to help out. Warriors kind of blew it down the stretch. Draymond with a tough foul out with 4 minutes left. A lot of questionable calls there, especially with the challenge. And so just a brutal bad beat. And then obviously game four, you hung around, you had the lead at halftime, and then the Wolves just kind of come out and blitz you for 6 minutes where you can score, and you're looking up at a 20-point deficit, and kind of the game was over after that. So talking through just your thoughts in games three or four, like what was it? Because I was in two minds. Like part of me was encouraged, especially after game three, of like, hey, they can definitely beat these guys at least once. And then game four, it kind of just felt like the Wolves delivered kind of almost a knockout punch, but obviously there's one more game to go. And watching those two games back, the way the Warriors, built the lead, but also, ended up coming up short, running out of gas a little bit. What's your confidence level going from, the last two losses into tonight?
Yeah, so I think what we've really seen these last two games are the margins that the Warriors are operating on without Steph. And I want to make it clear too, like I really resent when I see the stuff where people have just seen like, oh, well, if Steph was in, we'd be winning this series. Like they just take that as a like take that for granted. I don't think that's the case. Like this Wolves team is really good. I don't think you can completely just write them off and say, well, if you just drop Steph Curry in here, things would be different. I think what we've seen is that the Wolves are kind of like playing down to their competition a lot in this series. And the thing that's kind of crazy to me is they've played in my mind, three good quarters the whole series. They played excellently in the first quarter of game two. They did the same in the fourth quarter of game three. And then they beat our brakes off in the third quarter of game four. And that was all it took because I think like this is a team that I've watched a lot of. Like I've written on Nickeil Alexander-Walker specifically, but that's involved a lot of watching these Wolves games. Like this is a team that executes, that hustles, that competes at the highest level. In addition to the talent they have, in addition to the defense and the depth that they have, it's really unusual to like see them play what in my mind is like way below their standards. for these long stretches. Um, and that just speaks to where the Warriors are at because I don't think the Wolves have been playing well for the vast majority of this series. And they haven't really needed to because when they're not playing well, it's like a pretty even game. And we saw that on full display in game 4 because the Wolves aren't playing well. The Warriors defense is firing. They're, getting some things going offensively. Like Jimmy was aggressive in the first half of game 4. And third quarter hits, you know, the offense for the Warriors completely evaporates. The Wolves start executing defensively. And then, Ant walks in on offense, just starts hitting his shots the way he has been doing, like in every second half of this series. Um, and it goes from tie game to 17-0 run, and the game's over in like 5 minutes of game time. That was just how quickly it was because I think we all knew watching that. We're like, we've seen this Warriors offense, we've seen how tired Jimmy gets down the stretch. Whether or not that's the injury or his age or the workload he's facing or all three, he just doesn't have it in him to like get back into it. Um, and I think the thing we've seen too with like Kuminga has been excellent. Um, I think he's struggled a bit when they're down massively. Like we've seen it in these last few games about how like the shot selection kind of goes out the window when they're desperate. And I don't really blame him. It's like we're desperate for offense. Anyone who can get anything going, try it, but it doesn't work. Um, and so that's just the margins these Warriors are on. You said too with the Draymond stuff, like yes, it was. There were some pretty rough calls that got him out of that game earlier than he should have been, but he also had some pretty stupid fouls. Like, I think
Bad
you can
turnovers
debate
too.
the turnovers, yeah, like you can debate whether or not the Jaden McDaniels foul was a foul. Dude, just let him dunk it. Like it's 2 points. It's not ideal, but like you are way more valuable than fouling a guy just to hope that maybe they lose a point or two. Um, so I think that's what we saw is these Warriors just have to play end-to-end perfect basketball to win without Steph. And I just don't think they're capable of that right now. Like you need to hope that you get a game 1 where the Wolves just like get in their heads and completely shit the bed and miss every shot for the entire game. Because with the way they're going right now, unless these role players step up and start hitting some shots, I think there's been a lot of discussion on Kuminga, rightfully so. He's delivering, but there's been a lot on Moses Moody and Pods as well. I think some of the criticism of Moses is fair. I think he's gotten in his head and started playing outside of himself. But, Pods is like kind of doing what he has to do without Steph, and he just can't buy a bucket.
Yeah, it's been
And
tough.
yeah, and it's been tough. I think I saw he's had like the worst, as like minimum like 20 shots attempted. He's had like the worst field goal percentage series any player has had in like
Ever.
years.
That's
At least,
crazy. I didn't realize he's on like 2016 HB levels and he's worse than that. I saw a tweet where it was like the Warriors have had like three, I think Clay was in there for in 2023 as well against the Lakers. So it's like we've had three of like some of the worst shooting to kind of send us home. So it's tough, but kind of just shows you like the
yeah.
impact of Steph, like the spacing that they create and why when everything was clicking for the Warriors when Steph and Jimmy were there, it was, role guys had enough space. They had enough, time to operate. And with Steph not there, like you really have to have guys, hit shots. And that's really what this last two games have kind of come down to. Like game 3, you're in it. Jimmy and JK kind of carried you, but you really just couldn't deliver that knockout punch. And then once Draymond fouled out, Ant was able to get to the rim pretty much every possession. The Wolves were able to pull away. Last game, again, it was, you played really well. And the Warriors defense, as for as great as it's been, any defense, man, you need to be able to like set it up. And so with that, you need to, score at some point. And going on 6, 7 minute stretches of not being able to put the ball in the basket is just coming back to bite you. Like there were so many times that they just kind of missed layups. Like Jimmy had a couple missed layups, JK had a couple missed layups. I think Pods missed a couple open threes. Like they were looks that you would live with for the most part, especially like without Steph. and they just weren't going in. And obviously the Wolves got hot, and they're a good shooting team, so you can't count. It's not necessarily just bad defense. They were hitting some good shots, but the Warriors just have to score enough to give their defense a chance. And we've said it. I think Steve Kerr said it. Everybody's kind of just said it, like the Warriors are going to win a game based on their defense. But you still have to have those guys hit those momentum shots. At home, you weren't able to get those. You need somebody to step up, and we haven't had a kind of crazy magnet ball game yet from anybody. Outside of Buddy probably in Game 7 and Game 1 a little bit, but overall, this next game, man, Game 5, you're gonna need everything to kind of come together. Just one prayer of a game where you're getting looks, you're playing the defense, they're right there, which is the um the part that's a little bit more easy to swallow, is the fact that it hasn't been that the Warriors have gotten blown out, like you said. Like they've played the Wolves pretty well. They've had better stretches, and they are a better team when you don't have Steph Curry. So when you're playing a team that's better than you, and you're hanging with them right there, you just, like you said, you have to play kind of a perfect game. And we haven't seen that. We've seen that for stretches. I think the Warriors defense has done a lot of good things of, trying to get the Wolves off the 3-point line, force them into some contested shots. Game 4, Julius Randle had hit some crazy shots to kind of keep them in it early on. Ant had some big threes. And you're looking at, instead of being up, 5 or 7 at halftime, you're up by 2. Wolves come out punching them out. So overall, I'm with you, man. Like I think the confidence level what's your confidence level going into tonight? Because like I said, it feels like the Warriors have been right there. They've lost a couple tough games. But Jimmy was under the weather. It sounds like in Game 4, only took 9 shots, hoping that that he's feeling a little better going into today. But what's your confidence level for the Warriors to go into Minnesota and get one win to keep the season alive?
I mean, I think it's gonna be a powerful motivator with the likelihood that Steph is back for Game 6, if there is one. All signs kind of seem pointing to that right now. He's back doing on-court workouts, and I think especially like when you're dealing with a hamstring pull, an injury that he's never had. I think the fact that they're even letting him go run around, like
Good
makes
sign.
me think, yeah, like really good sign. You have to go get one to get him back. And I think that's going to be the message in the locker room is like, hey, it's been fucking rough without this guy. We put together one effort. Like we keep it together defensively. We keep a lid on them. We don't allow these runs. We find ways offensively. Um, then Steph comes back, and then it's anyone's game because then you have a home Game 6. You've got the momentum back, and then who knows what happens in Game Sevens. Like there's a light at the end of the tunnel here. Um, Unfortunately for me, I think the Wolves know that in equal part. They're probably looking at this and they're thinking, okay, like we kind of fell apart Game 1. It's one we should have had. We've beaten them 3 in a row. Like we just took 2 on the road. Like we know we can beat this team. We know our effort has been subpar as well. Um, and I think that's kind of the underrated thing about this Wolves team is that they do have a bit more killer instinct than people give them credit for. Like we have seen like they've kind of,
They played with
they
their
get the lead.
food.
Yeah, they play with their food. Like we saw it especially in Game 4. Like they were just like they were crisp and dominant on both sides of the ball, um, to build that lead. And then once they had their lead, it's like, oh, cutters are getting lost or they're making really
Yeah.
stupid turnovers that are giving the Warriors transition points. But I don't think like their competitive drive can really be understated. Like Ant is the ultimate like boot on neck kind of
Yes,
competitor
sir.
where he's like, I don't want to just like beat you. I want to like rip your soul out and like make this hurt as much as it can. Um, so I mean I still think the Wolves pull this one out tonight because especially with the Jimmy thing, like I just feel bad for the guy. Like he's just run ragged, like not only the injury limiting his explosion, but Like you said, the illness really keeping the shots down. I think he's just been heavily targeted in like, he has these like drives and kickouts. And yeah, some of them are frustrating, but it's like, I think we're kind of forgetting that like the dude can't really jump. And like
Yeah, no, it's tough.
the crux of his game is like getting into people's bodies. And he has like,
He has a broken like ass right now. Like it's
yeah,
it's a tough
well,
time.
his whole thing playoff time is just throwing his ass into people to like create room for layups or to like get fouled. And like it's got to be unbelievably painful to do that. And then on top of things, the guy gets sick. Like it just sucks. And here we are with like, what's this going to be like their seventh game in 13 days or something like
Something
that?
like
Like
that. Yeah, I
they
think
just haven't gotten a break. It's just relentless. It keeps going. Um,
this is
I
their
don't.
ninth game in 18 days.
That's
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 insane. It's
fucking nuts.
ridiculous.
That's insane for the playoffs. I mean, that's a whole other thing. Like Warriors aside, it's been kind of bothering me watching these playoffs.
Like the
And
amount of injuries, like man, Jason Tatum going down with he's 27, man. Like the guy's played so many games over the last whatever it is, and part of that, is it comes with the territory of being kind of a young star. You're going trying to win championship. We saw the Warriors go to five straight finals. Like we know the toll it takes on your body to do that. Play in the Olymp. I mean, didn't really play in the Olympics, but playing basketball year round. But man, like these one days off. I don't know if it was. I feel like it wasn't like this. Like I feel like there was definitely a lot more like days off. There were definitely 2 days off and for like travel days and things like that. Like it feels very condensed. And that's definitely something I feel like we should hit on in a off-season pod. But um, no, man, I'm with you. I tonight, man, like my confidence level was solely just on belief at this point. You call it copium, call it whatever you want to call it, but um. I just think the drive, like you said, of Steph will be back if we can just win one game. And you hear everybody talk like Jimmy, Steve, Kurt, Draymond, like the whole team. Obviously, like this thing happens because of Steph, and um, I just want Steph to have a chance to go out on his own terms. Obviously, the sucks, and it's part of the game. You kind of live with it if they do lose tonight, and you kind of are left with what if. We've seen hypotheticals on both sides. The Warriors have lost every hypothetical in the last like 15 years, but it is one of those things that is just it sucks. But the fact that you have a chance, still have a chance, you lost three straight. It's hard to beat a team four times, even without their best player. You'd like to lean on that kind of law of averages. Hopefully, you can get kind of a magnet ball game. Some guys get hot today, but my confidence level is solely just on the belief of win one for Steph. I think they had to win one out of four going in after game one. They're 0 for 3. You still got one shot. So it's going to be tough. Would not be shocked if the Wolves kind of put them away early. But, if the Warriors have any sort of last punch left, I just think if you can get to a game six and then you add back Steph, all of a sudden the series is completely flipped on its head. Like you said, you get the momentum back. You have the ability now with your best player to play how you're used to playing. Guys will kind of go back into their roles. And I genuinely think if the Warriors can win tonight, they have a chance to extend the series and even win it. But it all starts with tonight. You kind of just have to pray. But hey, man, we've seen crazier things happen. I think the way this team has played over the last 2.5 games, your confidence level is, hey, we can hang with these guys. All we need is to kind of step it up one more notch. And hopefully, big Jimmy game, big Kuminga game. Can Buddy get hot? Can Pods get hot? Draymond control the turnovers? Can the defense stay locked in? All of these things are very possible. We haven't seen it in a while, but it's very possible that it can happen. So I'm excited for tonight. However it plays out. It's been a roller coaster every year. Like if you look back at it, dude, we were the 12th seed, like in February. So the fact that you're in here with a chance to extend a second round series and get Steph back, it's all you can ask for. So
yep.
prediction
Yeah.
wise, I'm gonna go. We've been going with the Warriors this entire series, and we're 1 for 4, obviously. So I'm gonna go with the Wolves tonight. A little reverse jinx maybe, but I just feel like you said, the Ants got the killer instinct. I think if we were going up against majority of these other teams right now, I would probably pick the Warriors, but the Wolves, I got respect for them, man. They've done it the right way. Good team on the rise. They've got a superstar and a number two that's playing kind of out of their mind right now. So you tip your hat. I mean, they're taking care of business. But if there was ever a time, we've seen the Wolves. I think the Wolves have lost a lot of games at least in the regular season with guys like they kind of take it easy here and there. So you never know. I mean, if you're able to get out to a good start, kind of make the Wolves feel the pressure of, hey, like we got to win this game, otherwise Steph's back. I think the mental edge here, if you can get out to a good start, is going to be huge. So, looking forward to it. 6:30 tonight, man. Score prediction, Chuck. How you feeling?
Ooh, I'm going Wolves 111, Warriors 102. Yeah, I mean, I just think that there's going to be an ant run in there somewhere where he just gets hot. He's, got dudes halfway up his jersey trying to contest his shots, and he's just hitting threes in their eyes because he's just unreal right now.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm changing it. I'm not fucking reverse jinx. Go Dubs, man. I'm gonna go Warriors 106.
There's my boy. There's my boy.
106, Wolves 99. I think the Warriors hold it off, man. We get a game. We get a legacy game. This is going to be one that we can look back on and see like this Warriors team, man. For all their credit, for all their faults, they got a lot of heart, and I wouldn't be shocked if they lost, but. I don't see the season ending like this tonight. I think they get one for Steph, and force a game six. So 106.99. Let's lock that in. But guys, appreciate you guys joining us for this episode. A lot of fun stuff coming. Hopefully the off season is not right around the corner, but regardless, if it's a game six, if it's a game seven, if it's an off season look ahead, you guys got all your Dubs coverage here. We got some fun stuff coming out for you guys over the next couple episodes, so stay locked in. But Chuck, before we get out of here, man, anything you got to shout out or coming up?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be writing some stuff on, where these teams go from here. Not only the Warriors, uh if things end. Got a lot of stuff on, the playoff tape where we go, and we'll have some stuff on some other teams. Keep an eye out for that. Uh Perhaps on one team that may be following a Warriors type path of the recent seasons. But keep an eye out for that. All that's going to be on the swishtheory.com, and check it out on my Twitter too, at Claytheist11. And if you're into me writing on some baseball, football, basketball, talking stats, game recaps, predictions, picks, that kind of thing, I'm writing damn near every day on the DraftKings network. So go check it out there.
Hell yeah, man. Go check out Chuck Sir. Check out me and Matt. Follow the pod. But go Dubs, man. Season on the line tonight. I feel like we got something special cooking. Season's not done yet, but we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.